Welcome back, hockey fans, to episode 27 of Lightin the Lamp. I'm your host, Dola, and with me, as always, my co-host from the East Coast with the most, JG. How's it going, pal?
Fucking good, man. Good. It's been a little bit of a crazy break here. The boys kind of disappeared here from the fans. We a little hiatus, a little traveling for Timmy over there. I actually got to have a baby. My crazy wife popped out a beautiful kid. She did an unbelievable job. Pretty proud of her, but it's been a crazy month here. So just excited to get back with the fans, talk a little Rangers, talk a little WJC, and we got big hockey coming up here this week. So a lot to talk about. Pretty excited. How about you over there on the Gold Coast, buddy?
Oh, I mean, things have been great. New year, new me. Obviously, we're in the new year into 2021. Hopefully, a little bit better than last year. But obviously, congrats to you, Salut, pal, for becoming a daddy. Big changes in life from where we started to now is just been a wild ride. I could definitely say that. But yeah, it's been good, man. Just got home after a big trip. Drove the Tesla all the way back to Illinois, 2,000 miles, saw the family, took the dog home, and then as well cruised on back through and hit up Breckenridge and went skiing and snowboarding.
Couple different kind of babies, but let's get into that a little bit here. Mr. Tesla, been talking about the investments with Tesla for a while now, and then he dives on in and he goes and gets a real nice Tesla. So let's chat about that a little bit.
Oh, dude, I mean, you better believe it was late at night and I threw that baby into autopilot just because, I was a little bit just, weary behind the wheel. Hour 7, hour 8, I was just I don't want to drive. Click, let the car do the work, and just all you got to do is a little shimmy. Just a little shimmy. But the car does the rest of it. One. Just it. Just to let you can slide on back a little bit in the chair. I love that even the entire roof is a sunroof, so you're just looking basically at the stars because when there's no lights in the middle of nowhere, Utah or Colorado or Nebraska.
Yeah, you guys had some. Jenny kept me posted on Instagram since you're not a big Instagram guy, but she kept me posted along the way. I got to follow her story a little bit. Some definite views and some definite places where you definitely just wouldn't want to drive that could bore the shit out of you. So, Nebraska looked like a lot of fun, So.
Oh my God, that's definitely the haul. Nebraska is just you got to get through it.
Get the fuck out of there! Get me out of here now. Are we there yet?
Yeah. But happy to be back. We're still living out of bags, still trying to clean up the place and everything, take down decorations, but we're back, and I had to put that all aside so we can get back on Lightin the Lamp. So I mean, we have plenty to talk about. It's been a while with the fans. We got the season starting this week. I mean, the 14th, the boys.
Actually, going to be preseason. Let's get into this. We're not going to be together, but JG is going to be lucky enough to be out on business, and he's going to be landing in Vegas 12 hours before the New York Rangers play the Islanders for our futures bets, which we didn't even get to discuss. So this is live for the fans here. I mean, what are we doing here this season? We're going to have to take a run at the Rangers, obviously. I mean, I am going to be in Vegas, and we are a team. There's just no way you don't put something in.
I mean, I think we have to put 50 on the Rangers. I mean, as much as I
need 100 to win the cup. I mean, I don't love it this year. I do think we're going to be a much better squad than obviously we were last year. I think you're going to get a little more grit, a little more sandpaper. You're probably going to have a couple more young guys on the team this year.
Yeah.
It's going to be an exciting team, but I mean, again, maybe not so impulsive like we did with the cup with the $350 bet. A little reckless there, having to know the Rangers weren't going to win the cup. But maybe we go a little light, 50 a guy and 100. I don't know what the odds are. I guess I could take a look at that right now, but I'm going to be in Vegas. I mean, when one of the two of us is in Vegas, usually a futures bet comes about between the two of us.
It's going to have to happen, but you take a look at the odds real quick. I'm going to light this lamp so we can get into this episode. I'm going to pound the boot, and here we go.
Wow, plus 2,700. I mean, that could pay for the four of us to go on your 30th birthday trip to Vegas.
Oh my God, what, 2,700?
Plus 2,700. I mean, a little lighter than the odds for them to win the cup last year. Obviously, looking at a more experienced team, a team that took their lumps going out 3-0 to Carolina. And obviously some new pieces coming in, probably not even done yet either. You're probably going to figure for some trades this year. There's some contracts that could still be finagled a little bit. So, I mean, you're still not seeing your New York Rangers finished product just yet. I think you'll see your finished product that's going to run for a cup probably by the middle of next season, around next trade deadline.
I mean, let's really get into this then, JJ. I mean, honestly, it's a gamble any way you look at it. After going into that bubble where we just saw basically mayhem take over and just like some teams show up, some teams basically get swept, like our boys. This is a 56 game season. You're missing out on 26 games. I mean, no preseason. The boys have to be ready. Mika Zibanejad, it hasn't even been skating in training camp. I mean, Brett Howden is centering the first line between Kreider and Buchnevich right now. Honestly, apparently from all the reports from the camp is he's playing great. He's filling the shoes for now, right? And I think he's actually winning himself.
How do you fill the shoes of a Mika Zibanejad? I mean, honestly, after last season, 2 seasons in a row, he's got to be a top 10 in the league, at least top 5 centerman.
He had more goals per game than any other hockey player in the league last year.
The top 5 and 10 up and coming players in the entire league. And nobody saw it coming either. We talked about that trade a few times, a couple episodes earlier, how kind of Brassard was hot, but he was older, and we kind of just made a lucky trade there and got a guy whose career kind of ran stale in Ottawa, and he came here, and boy, did he have something to prove, and he's doing it. It's pretty good to watch. So, I mean, I don't see how Howden could possibly fill those shoes at this point in his career. I mean, he could be serviceable.
That's what I mean, serviceable for like 3 games.
Filling the shoes of Mika Zibanejad, maybe 5 to 10 games he can hang in there. After that, it's like, he's just not there yet. He's just not there yet.
That's what I mean. You got a 56-game season. Got to get out to a fast start here. The boys, I mean, the first person that can get out to maybe like have a 5, 6, 7-game winning streak run. Like, I mean, dude, by the time you're 20 games into this season, they're gonna start looking at where the pecking order is and where we're heading into playoffs and stuff like that. I mean, it's just more than a quarter of the season gone.
If you want to make any more moves, I mean, because let's be honest too, I love the Kreider signing, but at the end of the day, I mean, if you're flailing midway through, it's a lot of teams that would pick that contract up, and who knows what you could get in return. You know what I mean? So you kind of gotta see where you're at around the.
What are you doing?
Listen, he's one of my favorite Rangers in the last decade. I love him. I think he's amazing. I think he's finally coming into his prime after all these years of being $1 million house with no roof. He finally kind of is, coming into his own and becoming something. But, at the end of the day, you got to talk numbers. You got to talk contracts. You got to talk how many young. And after watching the World Juniors, which we didn't even get into yet, we have 4 more guys that nobody's even spoken of in their top prospects over the last year that are damn near NHL ready. So, I mean, there's a lot of moving parts for these New York Rangers to come into a cup final here in the next couple of years.
John Davison already said it. He's like, we have too many good prospects. They literally don't know what they're going to do with all these kids.
Brett Berard, but I mean, he's a poor man's. I don't know if you want to go straight into WJC from where we were just at, but
yeah. Let's take a little detour here over to the WJC. Boys, congrats! Let's fucking go, America!
I was screaming at the TV just like the Lafreniere video. Going fucking crazy. And to top it, my son was born on New Year's Eve this year, so Dominic got to watch World Junior Gold to start off the life. So future hockey player just. Couple days old watching USA fucking spank on Canada, throw them in the trash can. Thank you very much. Canada was legendary on paper, and as we've learned over the course of sports history, paper means nothing. It's all about grit. It's all about grind. It's all about heart. And USA had the skill, grit, grind, and heart. They kind of had a combination of everything, and were able to pull that out. And even after a tough loss to start the tournament, so. Definitely a legendary group of guys, but I mean, to watch 2 Rangers prospects who were middle round guys. I mean, Berard went 5th round. I think Johnson went 2nd or 3rd. I'm not 100%.
Oh, it was Hunter Skinner. Hunter Skinner. I don't even think he got to play that much.
No, he didn't, but we had Johnson also. So I mean, you got
you had Dylan. You had Dylan Garan, who was a backup tender. You had Braden Schneider, who is
Ryan Johnson was on USA, defenseman. Stud. He's a Ranger guy, absolute stud. I mean, he plays for Team Minnesota. He was unbelievable. He had 4 or 5 points. But Brett Berard, let's talk about Brett Berard. Poor man's Brad Marchand. Unfucking believable. He gets under your skin, 5'9", 155, 160 pounds, lick in the face kind of prospect. He's just a pain in the ass. And what a rocket for a shot. 200-foot player. Probably the most exciting Rangers prospect I've gotten to watch in the last 2 years, and he's a 5th rounder. I mean, just awesome. I mean, he didn't do great at Providence this year. He played 4 games. He had a goal. Obviously, he didn't get to show everything. I don't know what his plan is for the rest of the year with all this COVID shit. If a lot of these guys are going back to the USHL and to play junior, so I don't know what he's going to do. But, I mean, what a tournament for a 5th rounder for the Rangers. Definitely showing that he's not far off. So, just exciting times for New York. And just like we said, we got into the WJC here. Spencer Knight, just fucking incredible. What a stud. Levi on Canada. You got the 2 Florida Panthers prospects for goaltenders. Just battled it out all the way. I mean, Levi played great. Had some 2 grimy goals that he let up that weren't his fault. A rebound off the side of the net. You know, you get Zegras to bury there and a tip in front. So, you know, taking a hit to make a play, get the tip in front, and it's all it is. So, I mean, it was a grimy game, and both goaltenders showed that they could probably be starters in the future. So, you know, the Panthers really scoring there in the 7th round on a small goaltender in Levi. What a stud. I thought he outplayed Spencer Knight for the tournament in total. I thought in that game, Spencer Knight was the better goalie. But tournament in total, I thought Levi outplayed Spencer Knight. I thought he was the better goalie for the tournament. So, I mean, what a future for the goaltending of the Panthers after a tough year with Bobrovsky. Nice thing to see for them.
Oh, without a doubt. I mean, one of the things that I was listening to the coaching staff after, they got the gold and everything like that. And the reporters were even like, how did they do it? What did you think? And, what he really said, I thought was awesome. It was just like, this is probably the team. They are a family. This group of guys just love each other. Like,
I don't know if they were commenting on all the players were commenting on NHL.com's posts and
love each other.
Like Hockey Collective, and they were all chirping like, "Oh, you suck at beer pong," type of shit that we were doing. So you kind of get the idea of the camaraderie that team had. I mean, they were talking shit to each other about the beer pong table, who couldn't get girls, who's soft, and whatever, just the usual locker room talk. But you see it out and live, and you hear them during the national anthem. Zegras, fuck, we did it, boys! Just an awesome group for sure. I mean, from the get go, I was getting mad at them in the Russia game to start the tournament, and they showed some real fucking toughness, man. They came back from a tough loss to a good Russia team, and they beat the odds-on favorite to win the tournament. So, I mean, and shut them out nonetheless. So, just an absolute performance by team. The difference between USA Hockey right now and everybody else, we can skate with anybody. You saw it. We were the fastest-paced team in the tournament by a long shot. Canada still plays that bang-up game where they're physical.
That big body, take them a lot of space.
They go to the stage. They have all Alex Turcotte. And we have a mix of everybody. You know what I mean? Like, they have a bunch of Alex Turcottes and Kalievs, the 2 LA guys. Naturally, the 2 LA guys on USA are absolute monsters, like Anze Kopitar and the rest of the squad they have there now. But another star.
Byfield, too. Yeah, man.
Alex Turcotte, Byfield, just all monsters. They kind of play that Canadian mold, the LA Kings. So you saw it when they played the Rangers in the Cup.
They beat us, dude. They beat us with that.
Nice to see all these prospects. I mean, look at Zegras for the Ducks. The Ducks had a ton of good prospects in this tournament.
The Ducks had 6 prospects in this tournament, and they are all sick. The Ducks are.
Let's be honest. What a great World Junior period. I mean, the Finland USA game was incredible. Goes down to the very last minute. USA gets a big goal at the end there. The LA Kings prospect Kaliev with the minute and change left, he buries in front of the net. What I loved most about this Team USA team, though, before we finish off on the WJC, was just the grind. So much jam. I mean, we won games in the crease. Every goal we scored was a tip, a rebound, just a dirty play, a puck chip to the corner, a soft far corner chip, and a guy come flying in, get a puck to the cage, and you get a tip. You know, it's just a lot of dirty third and fourth line play, and I love to watch it. I really do. It's one of the greatest parts of the game.
Zegras I thought he put on a show sometimes.
He passed Mike Modano in points for USA for I guess he tied for second overall with Jordan Schrader, who ended up having an okay pro career, great college career. But this kid Zegras very well might be the next US Mike Modano. I mean, did you see how good he was?
I was saying, it's a new Captain America. We have a new Captain America.
Every bit as good as an Austin Matthews to me after watching that performance. I mean, he's got that type of skill set. He's got that upper echelon skill set. So, and from what I heard, I mean, he hasn't played since January of last year, and he trained with Ryan Getzlaf in Anaheim for the entire summer and through the pandemic. And look what you get at the tournament for training with an absolute animal.
Oh my God! I'm surprised I haven't seen him. Got to see Getzlaf just walking down the street, just Bed Bath & Beyond.
Yeah, chilling. Yeah, I mean, we live in Orange County, so. But hats off to Team USA, Trevor Zegras, Spencer Knight, Alex Turcotte, the Rangers prospects, Berard, Skinner, fucking Johnson. Just an awesome and Garand for Canada, the backup goalie. And Schneider. I mean, Schneider looked awesome in a lot of those games. He was stunned.
He was throwing bodies. He was big.
He played big boy, but he can score. He's deceptive with the puck. So, a lot of big time shit going on for the Rangers. It's exciting, man. I mean,
when you brought up when you actually right after the draft, you were excited about Brett Berard. So I paid attention to him a little bit, and you're right, dude. It was surprising how much
he's a 4-man man. He
could literally control the ice. He was in the corners, coming out with the puck. He was like a gopher, just coming into holes, finding ice everywhere, finding passes.
He's in the crease. He's in your face in the defensive zone. He's blocking shots. He's finishing checks. He plays. But he's very, very, to me, there's no better comparison to each other than Brad Marchand, than Brett Berard. I thought he brought that style of play, that in-your-face, chippy, annoying. You want him on your team, but you hate to play against him. You don't want him near you. You could lose your mind playing against him. And he, to me, was the most impressive Rangers prospect in the tournament, to be honest.
All right, I got a question for you then. Question for you. Do you think that outcome would have been different had Kirby Dach's wrist not went into fucking 9 different directions?
I don't know if one player makes the difference.
Hey, Lafreniere made the difference in 2020, bro. You saw it. You said it yourself. He literally controlled 20-year-olds by himself, dude.
Maybe if Kirby Dach and Lafreniere play, you don't even – but, I mean, I think one player in the mix of all that, they had so many – listen, the goal differential was 34-6 for Canada, goals for to goals against, with none 5-on-5 against on their way into the final against USA. I think that USA just played such a style of game that suited them to score 5-on-5 against Canada, that Canada they had a great third period. They brought it on, but I just thought the first two periods – USA was too much. They outskated them. They outpassed them. They outshot. I don't think Kirby Dach would have changed that.
Very interesting.
Maybe he gets a bounce and he changes the game. Maybe. But I think that the first period and 15 minutes, I thought USA outskated Canada like you've never seen before. I thought the skating was a total difference. I really did. I thought that USA's skating was on a whole nother level compared to Canada. I thought the third period, U.S. kind of buckled down a little bit and let Canada have the offensive zone and relied on Spencer Knight. But I really thought USA outskated the tournament to a whole new echelon. I thought they were just better skaters, period, than everybody. I don't think – I mean, Finland was probably closest speed and skill-wise with your feet to USA that anybody was. And then you had Canada, who was obviously a 19 first-round powerhouse. You're assuming they're going to win the tournament, but USA we win in situations like this. I mean, you remember the John Carlson year? We were all hyped because we played with John and whatever.
Oh, my God. Dude, I remember that. I was
Illinois. That Canada team, I'm just going to say two names that were on the first line, and then you can think about the second and third line after that. You had John Tavares and Jordan Eberle were the first line. Then the second line center was Taylor Hall. So, you probably had a similar roster to what you had in this tournament. But again, another gritty, fast skating, 200-foot playing, chippy, in your face, win the game in the crease team in that 2010 team. The Kreiders, the Carlsons, the guys that do it all, the step-ons, the guys that play all aspects of the game. And that's why they're so successful in this tournament the last 10 years, USA. Four golds in the last, 7, 8 years, more than Canada. And we've beaten Canada in 3 of 4 of our gold medal games. So
no, the last 5 times we've met in the medal game, we've beaten them. The last 5 in a row.
USA hockey is on the map. So, pretty exciting. And again, just exciting to see all these Rangers prospects in that tournament and get hockey started. And, we go from January 2nd, 3rd, right into the 14th, right from WJC into almost like an Olympic break. You instead of the Olympic break, you get the start of the new season. So exciting time for hockey right now. Just a little depressing. You're only getting 56 games, to be honest.
Yeah, I agree. And have you even heard anything about, has the Garden come out with anything in terms of letting fans back? I doubt anyone in Anaheim is going to be able to go back.
New York is just as bad as California with the restrictions are. Unfortunately, we have some weird stuff going on inside the leadership in both states. So it's a little strange times, but Jersey, I think there's a possibility maybe we'll be able to go see a Rangers versus the Devils because New Jersey hasn't spoken of shutting anything down again or anything like that. And we're staying between that 25 and 50% capacity type of thing. But I don't see how maybe we don't get a couple of fans in the Rock. So you probably get to catch a game or two if you're willing to go to the Rock, which I'll definitely be there. And hopefully you'll be out here towards the end of the season. You got that trip planned, and it looks like it'll be towards the end of the hockey season. So, who knows?
Dude, I know we were talking about that futures bet. Like, there is a small part of me that just I don't know if it's a small part. I want Las Vegas to be in the Cup in June.
Potentially being out there for your birthday trip, it could be a really good time for the boys. And let's be honest, a movie of a podcast session for sure, because if we're doing one in Vegas, it's going to be on probably 2 days wide awake, no sleep, 50 hours and change, and probably picking you up off the craps table after a nap at the Cosmopolitan. And,
just on the slot machine. I'll just just rest up, just put the arm on it.
Staying at the Cosmo on Wednesday night made me laugh when I booked it the other night through work, because I was like, hey, I remember I found Timmy here at 9:30 in the morning sleeping on a craps table that they had to close because they couldn't wake him up. So that was a classic.
I was waiting on my beer that never showed up because I had to yell at the lady.
It never showed up because you fell asleep after you ordered it, pal. I got there we shut the table down at 7:45. It's 9:15. Guy's out for an hour and a half, sleeping in his chips at a crap table that's been closed for an hour and change.
No one robbed me. They even
got you a chair. They even got you a chair. You stand at the craps table. I found Timmy sleeping in a chair at the craps table. So, the courteous people at the Cosmopolitan, we appreciate you and your hospitality.
You spend enough money, bro. They'll put you a chair. They'll give you a chair. But, they'll do anything.
We wandered off into the WJC for a hot minute here. I think it's time to
before we hit the Rangers news, let's just go into some crazy shit of just like the NHL beyond the 56 game thing. Dude, what an interesting season this is going to be. Dude, think about how many goaltenders just swapped teams. Joey Thornton on Toronto. You got freaking Chara on the Capitals.
Jimmy factoring into the second line on Toronto.
Who? Joe Thornton?
Yeah. Jimmy Vesey.
Oh, Jimmy Vesey on Toronto. He got traded from Buffalo. Didn't even freaking know that. But then even look at this. Hank just had open heart surgery. Jonathan Toews isn't even playing this year. Kucherov isn't playing this year. Like, this is – dude, what is happening in the – dude.
The good thing the old Tampa Bay Lightning didn't let go of that good old boy Braden Point.
Dude, Stammer's back. So they got – instead of Stammer being out and Kucherov.
They're so deep, it doesn't even matter, dude. They showed you that they could win a cup without Stamkos, so why couldn't they do it without? If Stamkos is healthy and producing at a Kucherov level like he has his whole career, then what's the difference?
Kucherov level. Stamkos came on the ice in the Stanley Cup for one game, 3 minutes, and scored a goal. Dude, he was on for 3 minutes and scored a goal.
I'm talking about points per game wise and stuff like that. I understand where you're getting at, but I'm just talking about points per game wise and things of that nature. I mean, you have basically another Kucherov sitting in the stands because he's hurt. So, I mean, what does it really – if he stays healthy, what does it really matter? And let's be honest, Stamkos is like a 56 to 65 game average guy. He never plays 82, so this is a perfect season for a guy like him. Really,
this is perfect. It's incredible. But
if there's ever a time to be healthy and put up 2 points a game, it would be in a season that's shortened because he proves to get hurt towards the end of a season. It happens to him a lot. It's a shame because of how good he is. I mean, think about how many cups that team would have won and how much better his career stats would look if he didn't have all those injuries. I mean, he showed you. He got on the ice for 3 minutes, scored a goal, and then went and sat out the rest of the cup. He just showed you how good he is.
Dude, it was probably one of the prettiest goals of the playoffs, too. Like,
you give him 30 seconds, and that's all he needs. Literally.
It's like he never left the ice. Like, he can just immediately pick it up. Dude, the guy's like Jordan. It's like, I've just sat down and played baseball for years. I'm good. I'll come back, and don't worry. I'm an all-star.
Let's get back into the Rangers here. What do we got on the Kravtsov situation? Is he coming back?
Dude, I mean, no. So, I mean, they can recall him at any time, but I think that they need to figure out, I think, if what their right winger situation is going to be in terms of, what are they going to be? Is Buchnevich, Capo, Gauthier, and I don't know who our fourth line forward is, but like you really don't want to bring Kravtsov back to be a fourth line right winger, dude. He's a peacock. You got to let him fly, Like it's just like it's kind of like with Capo. Like you got to give him top six time, or maybe even that. Just got to give him some ability to get that confidence in the NHL. So I think they got to figure that out, man. But I think he'll probably stay in Tractor probably through like March until their season ends.
It's disappointing seeing what he's been doing. I mean, it's very just something I'm not happy about because I really am excited. I've been keeping an eye on him, and he just looks incredible. He really does look good.
Listen, man, I mean, right wing is really all we need to shore up. We have Panarin, Kreider, and Lafreniere on the left. And I'm pretty sure, isn't Lemieux a left winger or is he a right winger? Is Lemieux our right winger?
I'm actually sneakily pulling up Daily Faceoff right now because I'm interested to see what the starting line combination looks like as of today for the New York Rangers.
I mean, dude, so what I'd assume it's, assume Mika Zibanejad is in. You got Kreider, Mika Zibanejad, and Pavel Buchnevich. You got Panarin, Strome, Capo Kakko. You got Alexis Lafreniere, Philip Hedl, and I would say Julien Gauthier.
Wow. Are you reading off of
No.
Are you reading off? You're not reading off of
No, dude, no, I'm not.
You're right now you're 9 for 9.
And then I would probably say it's Lemieux, Howden, and I would say Kevin Rooney or Morgan Barron.
I don't know if Lemieux's hurt, but you have Rooney, Blackwell,
Morgan Barron. No, dude, the Cornell star, dude. We signed Morgan Barron to an entry-level contract. I think at a training camp.
Howden and Di Giuseppe or Rooney?
No, I think Lemieux, Howden, and Barron.
Well, then you're not getting Rooney or Di Giuseppe in the lineup, period.
No, you don't have Di Giuseppe or Rooney. They'll probably be rotated forwards. Kevin Rooney, we got from Boston in a trade.
I know who he is.
Yeah, we got him in a trade. And then defensive pairings, I'm expecting Adam Fox, Ryan Lindgren. They already put Tony D on the right side with Jacob Trouba. So hopefully that is just an offensive powerhouse.
My boy Tony D is so mad about the results of this year's presidential election that he decided, Tony D, I love you because, although me and my boy Timmy Amendola do not agree when it comes to politics, and we're not going to get into that on the cast, I'm just throwing a laugh out there about our fellow Ranger that we love so much. Tony D, I love you. I know you love President Trump.
On all cylinders.
I do too. but don't ruin your podcast and shut yourself down on all social media platforms, dude. Your podcast is sweet. Love you to death. Don't let I agree with you on a lot of counts, but don't let this shit poison you, man. Don't let it poison you. It's not worth it. We love you, Tony D. Go put up 60. Don't worry about politics. You're a pro athlete. You got plenty of money. Go enjoy yourself, dude. Go enjoy yourself. Let the middle class working men like me and Timmy worry about politics because it affects us way more than it affects that $5 million you're making.
Yeah, real talk, dude. No stimulus money on this end. Getting whacked over the fucking
you're not getting
taxes.
Don't worry about it. You're making $5 million. I'm not getting a stimulus. I made $112,000. You're good.
That's all good.
You're very good.
We're all right.
Love you to death. Again, I agree with you on most counts. We're not going to get into politics, but don't ruin. You got a great social media platform going. We love you as Ranger fans. Don't dump it all away. Don't do it. That's just a warning from the Light and the Lamp boys to our boy Tony D, because we do appreciate you, and I have been listening to your podcast quite a bit, and it's entertaining, man. So don't throw yourself behind the 8 ball, because I love to listen.
Yeah. So I mean, beyond those two pairing, Trouba and Tony D, I'm saying your third line pairing is Jack Johnson and Brendan Smith with Keandre Miller as a 7th D rotating.
Honestly, they have it here as Keandre Miller, Brendan Smith, Jack Johnson as the 7th. And I honestly think you're going to see Smith and Johnson go between the 6D man with Miller. I don't think that in the state the Rangers lineup is in, that a New York Rangers team is going to take Miller out of it unless he's really hurting the team. Like, unless he's physical, they'd rather him get the time and let him play. Like, unless he's minus 30 in his first 15 games and you just can't put him on the ice, like, I don't see how you take him out of the lineup.
Dude, I agree. I think it's time. We need to give him minutes. But, dude, he has never played in the AHL. He hasn't played for the Wolfpack yet. So, I mean, is there any benefit to sending him down for even just now, right? Or for like part of a season to bring him up? I mean, again, what we do with Brady Shea is essentially just throw him to the Wolves and be like, all right, Brady, get after it, pal. And dude, he struggled for a bit, but I mean, now look at him. He's fucking great.
Yeah, but the clip that I'm talking about Keandre Miller struggling at for him to get out of the lineup would have to be bad. Like, remember how bad Lieber Hajek played for that stretch? And they were like, okay, like this got to come. Like, he was good for like 5 or 6 games, and then it was just too much for him. And they were like, this kid's got to go. Like, I can't. You couldn't even have him as the 7th D man because you couldn't risk putting him in the lineup. He's gotten better since then. Obviously, it's a big boy game to go from the AHL to the NHL. It's no disrespect to a great Rangers prospect, but at the end of the day, unless he goes to the point where you literally have to sit him and you're playing 5 D men, I don't see how you take Miller out of the lineup. He's that good. If he gets the time and he gets comfortable, and you saw it at every level he's played at, once he gets comfortable, he's a pretty hard player to stop. He's 6'3". He's 2 and change. He's got wheels. He throws big bodies. He'll block shots. He can shoot. He can pass. I mean, he's your prototypical 2-way top 4 defenseman. So I don't see how. You just got to let him get his minutes, unless he's, like I said, -2 every night for 5 nights. And you're like, okay, like this kid's -10. He's not producing any offense. Other than that, I don't see how you could take him out of the lineup for a Johnson or a Smith. It's just me being honest.
Yeah, I mean, dude, but Johnson and Smith, both vets, both serviceable for sure. Like, you could definitely count on them to do what they need to do. You know what I mean? Like, they're basically filling in that Mark Stahl role of just being a very reliable person, stay-at-home defenseman, right? I think with Keandre Miller, we have those expectations where hopefully he's doing more. Being in the offense, being in the, basically kind of filling in the same way Adam Fox did. Basically just eating up minutes, eating up time, and just being a stud in all areas of our defensive core, right? I mean, that's our hope and expectation, but I think that is on his shoulders a bit, and I just think we got to kind of temper that just slightly. You know what I mean?
I gotta be honest with you, to get back into the forwards a little bit. How do you figure after watching Lafreniere, it's just boggling my mind a little bit that he plays with Hito and Gauthier? Like, to me, you got to put him with Strome and Panarin, and you start Kakko with Hito and Gauthier.
Well, dude, Panarin and Lafreniere are both natural left wingers.
Either that, or you gotta pull Buchnevich down to line 3 to start the season, and you just got to give these kids a shot. I don't see how you could put a guy of Lafreniere's caliber who's proven to play on the first line at every single level all the way till now, and do it in a pretty nasty fashion. I don't see how you put him in on your ninth as one of your ninth forwards.
I essentially think you need to move Lafreniere up to the first line. You need to move Kreider to the right wing, and you need to basically have Alexis Lafreniere, Mika Zibanejad, and Chris Kreider on a line together.
If anything, it's almost you can't listen. The Rangers made a great move by re-signing Strome, but you got to think like that Strome spot on that Panarin line is a Lafreniere Kakko spot. Because at the end of the day, I don't know. Would you rather Strome or Buchnevich? But it's almost like one of those two with everybody coming up doesn't fit. You know
I would say Strome fits the mold, dude. I mean, him because dude, you don't want to ruin chemistry. I think Buchnevich lives right out
in a third, fourth line role. You've seen it. You saw it with Vigneault for years. He is not a third or fourth liner. He's just not. He's got to be in the top six, or he's just got to not play. It's one of the other.
He needs talent around him to thrive. Like he needs good.
Strome is kind of similar. He just fits with Panarin so well. It's like you got to keep him. It's like, how do you let a guy who put up 60-something with Panarin, who never put up 60-something in his career, go?
Right, that's what I mean. Chemistry is the real thing, bro.
And that's what I was talking about at the deadline. Maybe the Kreider thing was a little bit of a hot take. Maybe I'm wrong there. But maybe you see a Buchnevich move at the deadline because the Kakko and the Lafreniere are ready to go, and you're just like, I can't fit you anywhere but the bottom six. And if you can't excel in a bottom six role, then we got to let you go.
Dude, I think Buchnevich, and honestly, I would say a goaltender and someone else is. I mean, dude, I would probably say Buchnevich is someone that is prime either for a trade or the expansion draft. Like I think Seattle or someone could pick him up, and he could fit in nice as a piece to a team, just like in Vegas. He could be a pretty fucking guy
on a Seattle Kraken team, right? And being that Jonathan Marchessault,
that guy that finally comes into his own city, his own team. I think like maybe that expectation was kind of riding with him, but I think Rangers fans haven't fully embraced him. I don't think he's kind of found his role, found his feet, and maybe he does find it in a new city. Maybe it's a bit stale right now here in New York. I don't know. Again, the same thing could be said about. I already forgot the kid's name that we traded away in the draft. I mean, whoever it was, like he's already dead to me.
Oh, who did we trade away in the draft? You're right.
Remember that the first round 7th overall pick that we just Lias Anderson, just like that, dude.
He was listen, you know me, I bleed red, blue, and white. So like for me, Anderson was a sellout, an absolute sellout. I'm not wearing these colors for fun, and he made New York a mockery. You had the opportunity to be a New York Ranger. You couldn't sit back and just shut up and just play the role you were given for the time being, knowing you were a 7th overall pick and they had every intention for you to be a top-notch player. I have no sympathy for you. You got invited to play during the playoffs, got invited back, and you said no. So I got to be honest, I hope you do well wherever you are. I'm not going to wish bad on anybody, but at the end of the day, I'm glad you're gone because you did nothing for us, to be honest. You were an absolute nightmare and a waste of a 7th overall pick, because if I go back and look at that draft, there's a lot of players that I would love to fucking have that went before you, that went after you. So, you could be as big a hot shot as you want, but at the end of the day, let's see what you do on your new team now.
I mean, but realistically, think about it. We're talking about all these prospects still, man, and I really do think again, I don't know what we're gonna do in goaltender. Okay, let's just list off goaltenders real quick.
If you have that much faith in Shesterkin, you gotta let Georgiev go, because you got Wall and probably 12 guys behind him.
You have Tyler Wall, you have Adam Huska, you have Dylan Durand, and we picked up another goaltender that's like 6'8". We in the last round in the 7th round, we picked up a 6'8" monstrosity. We have an Empire State Building as a fucking goaltender coming up as a prospect. So it's just like, it's kind of amazing. Just like we have 5 goaltenders, but I think you give up Georgiev, Buchnevich, maybe a second rounder, and maybe a prospect. And dude, how do we go get someone like a Pierre-Luc Dubois or a Patrick Laine or a Matt Barzal, dude? Matt fucking Barzal seems a little salty.
It's funny that you just said that because I was reading earlier, obviously for the episode, and there is a whole lot of Rangers for Dubois on here, boy. It's everywhere. Camp cuts expected soon. Revisiting Price to land Dubois. NY Rangers. Like,
dude, we have an embarrassment of riches. An embarrassment of riches. Like,
why you give up like a Pavel Buchnevich,
who Tortorella would love Pavel Buchnevich.
A Pavel Buchnevich, like a Nils Lindqvist, like. We have so many up and coming defensemen.
I forgot about Nils Lundqvist.
Yeah, there you go.
I didn't even think about Nils Lundqvist. Yeah,
he's as good as Keandre Miller is. So, like, let's be honest. Like, we could go Pavel Buchnevich, Nils Lindqvist, and a pick, and easily grab a Dubois. I mean, let's be honest. You're giving a 20-goal.
Give him You're giving them a 20-goal.
You're giving them a 20-goal score. If you give them one of the tenders, either Wall or Huska, I don't even care if you give him Wall. If you're keeping Georgiev, I don't care if you're giving him Wall. Give him Wall. Give him Wall. Give him Buchnevich, and give him Lundqvist, and even throw in there a second or a third rounder. I don't give a shit. We have so much on the prospects and picks end that there's no reason we can't make something happen for Dubois. But they're going to
contract. His bridge contract was not that bad. Even like we can fucking find that and eat that, dude.
I would love to have him. I mean, let's be honest. That's the centerman that you've been missing. He looked
incredible in the fucking playoffs.
Imagine him between Panarin and Lafreniere, and then you got Kakko, Kreider, and Zibanejad on the first. You got second line Dubois, Lafreniere, and Panarin, and then your third line is an embarrassment of fucking riches. After that, I mean, think about it. It's scary.
Honestly, I feel like if we assemble that team, we're gonna somehow just land Pat Maroon and we're gonna win a Stanley Cup. We're just gonna find a way to have Patty Maroon on our team, and then we're gonna win a Stanley Cup. And he's gonna do a three-peat with 3 different teams.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, we've been a little all over the place in this episode, but God, there's just so much to talk about, and the boys are buzzing here. So this has been a great start to the new year here.
I mean, no, we have to. I mean, we're talking still. I mean, it's really just Ranger stuff, man, and we're talking about just really the lines and what we think should happen. And honestly, it's not just rumors like that. I mean, you said it. Like, there's plenty of speculation going on. I mean, Dubois wants out of Columbus. Tortorella is more than happy to oblige for some fucking reason. He is not trying to keep him, Texier or Teixeira or whatever the fuck his name is.
You know how it's not even that. You know how he is. If a guy doesn't want to be there, and he just and he doesn't care. It's Tortorella. He'll fight next man up. That's his mentality.
Next man up.
And
get the fuck out of here.
Honestly, it works for him. So I mean, you can't even be mad at him for it. It's like,
because come on, dude, how many good players are just itching for a shot to just go play?
Also, another one I saw that I don't love, would much rather have Dubois. Anonymous NHL exec thinks Blue Shirts in on Patrick Laine trade.
He's a lazy fuck. He's good. I'm all right.
He'd be great on a line with a Panarin because all he's going to do is get a pass in the slot and score. You know what I mean? Like, he would fit in well in the top 6 because he's got plenty of guys that are willing to do the work. So this is a good fit for him. But for me, you want another guy of the mold of Lafreniere, and I think Dubois is very similar. I think he takes the team on his back. He'll go to the corners. He'll fight. He'll score fucking 3 goals in a game and have 2 assists. I'd rather have a Dubois than a Laine. But I mean, depending on what you're giving up, I'll take Laine. If you're not paying too much on a contract for him, depending on what you're giving up for the trade, I'd take him. You wouldn't take him?
Bro, I mean, I feel the one rumor as well. Now, I'm really not that into Laine, honestly. I feel like he doesn't fit like the character and the mold of the New York Rangers. I think our culture.
That's why I like Dubois.
Yeah, I agree. But I mean, dude, the other rumor is that Matt Barzal is a little like unhappy in over at the Isles, and
because they don't let him play his style of game. Think about Matt Barzal on a line with Panarin. he'll have 140 points a year.
That's what I'm saying. Like, oh my God, can you just imagine those two together? Matt Barzal just literally stole the show in the bubble last year. And just like the fact that he's just not happy and as an Islander, it's kind of odd. They went to the Eastern Conference Finals. How are you not happy? You guys have like, you know, a bunch of players, Jean Pajot. I mean, you have who's their captain that literally actually played unbelievable throughout the entire playoffs. Honestly, when they lost, you saw like how much pain was on this guy's face. Who's the Islanders captain? I know you hate answering questions about the Islanders, but you know what I'm talking about.
Oh, Anders Lee. I love him.
Anders Lee, dude. Oh my God. His press conference after the loss was just
I love him.
He was heartbroken. He's a fucking leader, that kid. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I you know, maybe it's Lou Lamoriello, just a little bit too tough on the boys. You know, maybe Matt Barzal wants to go out, maybe grab a hooker or two. Who knows? You know, in terms of being able to go party as a young guy, good-looking kid trying to be in the NHL, and then you got a strict GM. You know what I mean?
I'm reading an article here where it says that it's too much for the Rangers to land Dubois, and like by too much, they're saying Ryan Strome and Keandre Miller, or Ryan Strome and Vitaly Kravtsov. I got to be honest, I'd give up either or. No, not both. I'd give up either or and Strome for sure, without a doubt. I mean, that's not even a question over here. To get Pierre-Luc Dubois, third overall, 6'3" center who's got potential to score 40 and 40. I'd have to.
He's gritty. He works in the corners.
And he scored almost 30 goals last year. He's got potential to be a 40-40 guy. You put him on a line with Artemi Panarin, he might be a 50-60 guy. He might be a 50-60, 110-point guy. I mean, the sky's the limit. So for me, if I'm the Rangers, now that I keep reading
these farm.
I don't sell the farm. We have plenty. You give up a Lundqvist or a Lindqvist or a Miller and a Strome or a Buchnevich. You're gonna have to give up a top six piece. But to be honest, we have so many top six. We have so many pieces that could fit in the top six that it doesn't scare me. I send Strome right now, and as soon as the season's over in Russia, I bring Kravtsov back. The guy's proven to be a number one person on a team in the KHL, and he's beating records that Artemi Panarin put up. So obviously, he's damn close to being ready.
I mean, dude, he's a right winger. He's not a center, right? He's not going to fit that.
You're getting a center.
Yeah, you're replacing him with
Dubois. It doesn't, you know what I'm saying? It doesn't. You could bring back a winger. You could bring back whatever you want. You don't have to bring back a centerman. You could bring back whatever. We have plenty of guys that are damn near NHL ready, is all I'm trying to say. That it wouldn't hurt me to lose a Strome or Buchnevich at this point in the Rangers.
Honestly, you better hope you land in Vegas and place that bet before the Rangers make this move, because hopefully John Davidson is out there. You know, hopefully his ears are ringing, and hopefully he's on the phone with Columbus, you know, making these moves.
Via Alaska Airlines from San Francisco at 7:26 p.m. So, I mean, hopefully by 8:30 p.m. Vegas time, I'll be inside of the Cosmopolitan at the Sportsbook window before I check in, placing an order.
And hopefully you place the $100 bet on the Rangers to win the cup, and then hopefully 5 minutes after the press release goes out that the Rangers have traded for Pierre-Luc Dubois. That's not to
beforehand. Their odds are going to go from 2,700 to 1,900 for sure.
Without a doubt, dude. Like, he is that impactful of a player that I think in our lineup that it would just be that the Rangers are on a fast track, that they are now recognizing that it's like, okay, let's make the run right now. No, because I feel like management is at the point where it's like, it's either we have one more year and we're there, or it's now. And I hopefully feel like they're making the push for now, because I think we can do it, dude. If we just add that one or two.
I think you're gonna see them by the midway point of the season, like by that 26 game mark. If they're inside that top six in the Eastern Conference, I don't see why they don't go out and make the push and make the trade to get a big time name to add to this roster. There's no reason not to. I mean, this is the first time in Rangers history where we signed the big name by signing Panarin, but let's be honest, like, other than that, everybody else is just your run-of-the-mill New York Ranger. I mean, Zibanejad is good. We got him in a trade. We didn't think he was going to be this good, but he developed that at the Rangers. You know what I mean?
Trouba has a 7-year contract. That's pretty deep.
Yeah, but Trouba's contract doesn't hurt. As long as this pandemic gets fixed a little bit here and the cap continues to rise a little bit, that doesn't hurt so bad. And let's be honest.
Pause here. What about the fucking advertisements on the helmets? Oh,
I hate that shit. I hate that. But before we get into that,
fucking kidding me?
Before we get into that, the Trouba situation, another one where maybe at the deadline you're like, damn, we're really close to being that good and we're really close to winning a Stanley Cup. We have plenty of defensemen that can eat minutes, and we trust in Adam Fox, and we trust in Ryan Lindgren, and we trust in this one. Maybe we go out there and we go to a Columbus and we're like, hey, listen, we'll send you Jacob Trouba and a first rounder and a Keandre Miller or a Nils Lindquist. You're getting a top 3 defenseman. I mean, think about him playing with Seth Jones and Zach Werenski with no load. You know what I mean? With nothing to worry about. He would put up 70 points and he'd be the captain of the team. So, I mean, there's plenty of situations where the Rangers could move a Trouba and that contract at the deadline and bring that piece, that Dubois, that whatever piece they decide to bring in, that, you know, that second line center who really is a first line center, because, you know, you already have the Zibanejad. But I mean, let's be honest, the guys that the Rangers are talking about, and if they're going to give up top prospects, they're going after another first line center. You know what I mean? And Dubois fits the mold of a first line center. I mean, over time, if eventually Zibanejad becomes too expensive, you now have that young piece that kind of grew up with Lafreniere and Kakko, and you kind of pray the Rangers go out and get this Dubois.
I mean, dude, it is only a 2-year contract, right? So we're gonna have to sign him. But thank God, after this year, we get rid of all that dead cap money. Like Jesus, like after in 2 years, we can actually start affording some shit, right? Like that's what I mean. Like after this year, we can start affording Dubois' contract too, because we're gonna have to re-sign him. We're gonna have to re-sign Zibanejad. We're gonna have to re-sign a lot of freaking players, other than Panarin, Kreider, and Trouba, who we all have under contract for 7 years.
For sure, bro. For sure. I mean, it's been a crazy year. I'm excited that we're getting hockey, period. You know, bottom line, I mean, it's nice that we even get to talk about all these trades and all this shenanigans going on with the NHL, like running into the season January 13th, no preseason basically, and kind of cool. I'm kind of excited about it. So it's just nice to be back.
4 days, dude. 4 days we're going to be opening up against the Islanders, and I can tell you fans, all right, so we got a few things before we start closing everything out. One, you better believe your boy Dola got a reverse retro Alexi Lafreniere.
Where is the question? I mean, come on.
So when I got it was a Christmas gift, but so many people ordered the jersey. It was back ordered, so it got shipped to my parents' house. So they're now shipping it over to me. But by the first game, I'm going to be rocking the Alexi Lafreniere jersey. I think JG and I at least have to get on for the first period, watch it live. The first go for the Rangers against the Islanders.
I'll be landing from the West Coast from Vegas about 3:45 p.m. on Thursday. So I'll be in time to jump on, and you know I'm going to have to run in and schmooze the wife a bit and kiss the son and you know, make my amends. But you know, she's going to have to understand that the New York Rangers are back. So
I mean, come on, you got to get the family in the living room together. You could just set up the laptop, just like you did.
Realistically, she'll be downstairs because she knows how big of a day this is. You know, Dominic's first New York Rangers game. She knows Dad's an absolute diehard ex-season ticket holder and just an absolute diehard Ranger fan. So I'm sure we'll all be in the living room live. We'll let the fans meet the wife, the baby. Hopefully we get Jenny and the pup on there, and you know we'll have a little light in the lamp family session for the first period of the New York Rangers here. Just a little excitement coming into the 2021 hockey season in the middle of the winter. Better time.
And we're gonna be looking good. Again, I'm gonna be rocking the New Jersey number 13. Never thought I'd be putting 13 on my back, but the fact that Alexi threw 13 on his jersey threw that theory right out the fucking window, because who gives a shit? It's Lafreniere's jersey. That guy's gonna be, I think, destined to be the absolute centerpiece of this team. Honestly, in terms of the captain situation, I feel like Chris Kreider nabs the captain, nabs the C, going for at least the next 5 years. And then I think Lafreniere takes over the title unless they're holding out for him to just basically ascend to the throne himself. So I can't be more stoked to just watch the start of this kid's career. I think he's going to be a stud. I think he's going to hopefully – I mean, I don't know if my expectations could be the same as what Austin Matthews did on his first day, and I'm pretty sure he scored 4 goals. I was watching that game with my buddy, but expectations aren't that high. But I mean, just to watch him pop a cherry in the first game on the big stage.
I mean, you can't count him out. You can't count him out, and at least for a 1-in-1 effort. I mean, he's been doing it his whole damn career. You got to – and, I mean, let's be honest. We were really excited, but did you see how excited these analysts are about this kid?
Oh my God.
Guys that – I mean, we know the game. We do.
The pundits are fucking losing their shit over this kid.
These guys are going crazy that the Rangers got this kid and can't go back-to-back. So, I mean, maybe we should be a little more excited. I'm trying to kind of hold it back and just, temper my expectations a bit, but it's hard to because watching him – his highlights from last year and the year before, he just gets better and better and better. The more he gets on the ice, the better he gets. It's amazing. It's very Nathan McKinnon, Sidney Crosby like. It's very business-like. It's very I love hockey and that's all I love, and there's nothing that comes before this. And it's just very exciting to have somebody like that be a New York Ranger. So
the boys in the locker room were saying they were impressed how much of a man this guy plays like. Like he plays like he was made in the NHL, ready to go. Like he plays heavy, he plays hard, he's hard on his feet, he can't be moved off pucks. And this is coming from the seasoned vets. So that's what you love to hear because you look at a guy like Jack Eichel, stud, incredible. But when the kid entered the league, he looked like a baby boy. Unfortunately, Jack, you're a man now, but you looked like you just hit puberty.
He looks like a boy.
What?
He still looks like a boy. He's got that curly hair, that baby.
He's got some scruff now.
I wouldn't call that scruff. I would call that like peach fuzz.
But again,
this is scruff. I'm mad that my barber took me down this low. This is scruff.
No, this is
your boy fucking Eichel's got fucking peach fuzz. He's got patches. Love him. Honestly, there's only 2 players that are going to catapult the Rangers to where they need to go this year. And between the 2 of them, I'd rather have Eichel, but I'll take Dubois as a second prize for sure.
Pierre-Luc Dubois, for sure. It's funny, but
Eichel, Eichel, they want a legit King's ransom. They're looking to get Strome, Buchnevich, Trouba, and us eat their salaries on top, and then you take Eichel. There's just too much involved to get a guy like Eichel, unfortunately.
Yeah, but I mean, it's going to be an exciting time. I can't wait for the 14th. Wait for the game. Wait for Alexi to make his debut. Wait to rock the jersey. Just so much going on. You got Dominic's first game as a Ranger fan. You got to have the family out there. Just an exciting time for the Lamp Boys and everything coming up as Ranger fans in the hockey community. But one thing even beyond that, JG, the last thing that we can close this off with is that your boy Dola finally got his shit together. Took some time. We're on Spotify. We're on Google Podcasts. We're on Apple Podcasts. We're on YouTube. We're basically coming on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter. So we are basically across 7 platforms. So fans, if you're out there, really no reason you should be missing any content. We're basically blasting it out to every single place and area that we can. So if you actually go on Spotify, go on Google, go on Apple, you could search Lightin the Lamp Talkin Hockey, and it is available. And honestly, YouTube, it takes a little soul searching, but when I went on Spotify, it was incredibly simple. Literally typed in Lightin the Lamp, and it was one of the first searches that came up, which actually warms the heart a little bit that it was just one of the first things that popped up. And you'll see a picture of JG and I as young guns on playing juniors, and it's just a little background photo. But at the same time, again, finally, we are across all platforms. I'm doing my best to get all of the episodes from 1 to 27 all the way loaded, especially after we get this one online.
I just got to finish with a work trip here this week, but everything's kind of going back to normal. So we'll be kind of back across all platforms here. We'll be posting on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, the whole nine. Just kind of a hiatus for the boys. So we're back in full tilt. Timmy got his end done here. We got the Spotify back up. So we'll be on pretty much all platforms here going forward. So exciting stuff for the Lamp Boys for sure to start the season.
Absolutely. So please, if you can, like, share, subscribe on Apple, subscribe on Spotify, subscribe on any platform that you're on. Make sure you're always tuned in to the latest Light in the Lamp content. Obviously, JG and I were trying to grow. This is just a step one in a many-step process that we'll be taking. Obviously, it starts with a podcast now. And then obviously what we want to get into later is hopefully we get some interviews for you guys. We're going to be bringing on some hockey players that we play with over a long career of just ourselves, guys that actually hopefully, not just hopefully, but actually been to the show, guys that actually, played deep into junior, semi-pro, and just basically really give you a whole perspective on just like the road to the show of just what it takes to be a hockey player and what it takes to actually get to the NHL and really what it's like in the locker rooms, a little bit behind the scenes stuff. But that's really what we want to go. So we can really talk about even, a whole perspective beyond in terms of youth hockey. And if you're a young hockey player listening to Light in the Lamp, we want to give some educational things from just old hockey players on just how to kind of manage your career as a fucking kid, because real talk, you're a professional as a young hockey player. You're signing contracts for thousands of dollars where your parents are paying into things. And you really got to commit. Like, there's no other sports. Hockey becomes your life. The hockey community becomes your family. And, it's part of what we believe in at Light in the Lamp is hockey's a community. It's a family. And we're just trying to promote everyone and trying to help you out as well. But JG,
on that before we close it up, let me just finish off with, I don't know if you got into it yet, but a couple of guys that I've gotten to coach and play against and with actually started following this new podcast. Boys, it's called Minor League Madness. A little bit different than what we're doing here, but these are all boys that me and Timmy played against, kids that went to play in the EC, the AHL, and they kind of give you a little bit of what life in the minors is like, which is pretty fucking crazy. I only got to experience a game or two in the Fed League. A couple bus rides and some very legendary experiences, but these guys are veterans, 28, 29 years old, played in the Fed, the EC, the Southern Pro, and down south, Midwest, like in your typical, semi-pro hockey town. So just a really cool listen. You get to hear some of the better, AHL guys that have gone, all the fighters and stuff like that. You get to hear some really crazy shit and some great stories. So just while we're on kind of being a hockey community, check out Minor League Madness for sure, because the boys are tearing it up. They really are. It's an incredible pod. So shout out to you guys, because it's really fucking an awesome listen.
All right. So again, we're across all platforms. We're going to be coming back to you. Check us out on the 14th. We'll probably be doing a little bit of a live session through the first period. So as always, thank you for tuning in to Light in the Lamp, JG. Always an absolute pleasure to be back on you. Congrats again for becoming a Poppy, pal. I'll release you to the family and get back to your Sunday. But everyone else, just have a good rest of your Sunday, and thanks for tuning in.
Cheers, boys.